The next panel will be actually super interesting because we will compare DAOs and AIs and how we can coordinate as humans. And I got great guests here, and they will introduce themselves in a moment. I will start. I will show you how you should introduce yourself. So please keep it the same way, short, very punchy, and short. So I'm Punkar. I'm the moderator of this panel. I wrote a book called How to DAO. So I hope I know one thing or two about DAOs. And that's it. Got it? Quick, short. Okay, Spencer, do you want to go next?
Hello, everybody. My name is Spencer. I'm a co-founder of a project called Hats Protocol, and I've been doing things with DAOs for about 5 years, so I also hope I know a thing or two.
Cool. That was a really nice introduction. Denison?
So to understand my name, before I introduce you, I have to tell you the story of how we came to blockchain. I'm Denison. I run Tally. And really, we came to no.
Hi, I'm Daniel from Arendao. We're a product ecosystem of Collabtech Ventures.
Hi, I'm JB from Tenfold.
Awesome. Can we get some applause? It was such a great introduction. Well, and now, so we will discuss two topics. Basically, one is how AI can help us coordinate as a humans. And then we flip it, how DAOs can help coordinate AI. So let's take the first. So we have DAOs. They are messy. They don't work. And now AI agents are coming in. So do you think AI will actually solve this coordination problem which we have with governance right now? And I would start with Denison because, you know, he's running a lot of governance stuff. So what do you think?
Absolutely not. The
Thank
reason,
you.
though, is actually, there's a good reason why I say absolutely not. The reason is, if there were such thing as like objective truth, consensus would be easy even for people. But if it's not easy for people, there's really no reason to think that it's going to be particularly easy for AI agents. And AI agents like aren't somehow unbiased, right? There's no such thing as like unbiased inference. So we're always going to have a situation where if you have multiple different systems that even if they have the same prompt, they're going to come to different conclusions. Although they may all agree that people are bad and that they should get rid of them. But in general, I think it's going to, I don't think there's any reason to expect that these things are going to actually be better at coming to agreement than we are.
Okay, that's fair. So one of the things like DAOs actually coordinate around it's grants. So, you know, like coming to the agreement, one of the like simple and easy to visualize example can be like a grants funding. And I know JB is working on something where I think you are also launching it actually today, where like the AI agents will be coming to conclusion to fund some projects. So like Denison is saying, like it's not solving the problem. They won't be easy to find a conclusion. So how you are kind of solve it for that they will actually come towards the conclusion to fund?
Yeah, so we have an AI agent called Polybrain that's on Twitter, and Farcaster right now that's allocating for Polygon. And the way I think of AI is that it can read right now and it can reason a little bit. And so I think something we were talking about right before the talk is like we're in all these Telegram groups and all these Discords and like we can't read them all. And so I see the AI more as like summarizing grant applications and like reading them through and then letting other people chime in on Farcaster or Twitter and kind of give their feedback and accelerating the process. And then you can also see that like if you're able to build like a web of trust for your organization, knowing who's trusted or who has delegation, letting them steer the AI a certain way. So I basically see AI for grants as like how do we automate the stuff you don't want to be doing in the DAO as far as comms and make it as easy for your like core contributors and experts to chime in.
Cool. So you are basically saying, you're kind of agreeing with Denison. Like the agents are not coming to a conclusion, but they might get you a little closer the easier to do, correct?
Yeah, like making it really, I think DAOs right now spend a lot of time trying to deter bad actors instead of like nurturing good actors. Like you have to spend a lot of time blocking people. and trying to offload that to like AI and reputation as much as you can so that when you want the human touch, you can actually spend that on like good things instead of like stopping bad things.
Okay, that's cool. Daniel, I know like you're one of your like a venture in R&D. It's working like on like the community kind of management system. I believe you are also using AI. So like when you hear like Denison and JB like talking about actually automating some of the tasks and then like nurturing the community itself, is that like how you think about the community management as well?
Yeah, so we have a couple of different approaches that we're exploring right now. One that is about helping the community access its knowledge more efficiently, and this is the sort of relatively simple automations that can augment people to just do their jobs more effectively and filter information and so on. And on the other side, there is kind of like the next step of that is starting to automate whole workflows. But when it comes to governance, we're actually saying that's probably a terrible idea, because if you think of organizations as having different interest groups that need to negotiate, figure out what works for all of them, if you automate that away, you're actually automating the very essence of what can help these groups to progress their opinion. So there's two essential problems there. One is a data availability problem. Like if you want to represent the interests and the values of these stakeholders, you need a lot of data about them, and that data doesn't really exist right now. So in a way, these systems that can help with knowledge management, they're like a baby step in that direction, but we're still very far. We'll need wearables and a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't exist yet and is many years away. The second problem is a learning problem, is when you're trying to make a complex proposal, like something really impactful, you probably need to evolve the thinking of the people involved. It's not the original idea that's good, but it's when you discuss and deliberate a lot that you can get to something better for everyone involved. So if you try to put AI agents there, like let's say an AI agent delegate, that AI agent is not going to evolve its thinking. It's using either super generic thinking from the model, or otherwise it's some basic prompt that doesn't learn. So if you're proposing something new, the agent by default is not going to really like it because it's a new idea, it's a new thing, and so the organization is forever stuck in mediocrity. So yeah, we can use the agents to assist but not lead in this area.
Okay, so what's blocking us? And like this is like open question. Spencer, you can take it. You have right to take it first. Like what can enable actually those agents to be like useful to actually start evolving and leading the way?
Leading the way?
Yeah, like we are saying like they're just helping now, but like AGI, like they're super intelligent, like they should be leading the way. So what is blocking them from doing that?
I think I would question the premise that AI agents should be leading the way. I think they can help humans to execute, but humans, I think, very much hope will continue to lead the way to set objectives, to set values, principles, strategy at a high level. I do think AI agents can help synthesize or take direction and instruction from humans, hopefully a distributed set of humans in a DAO context, and implement some of those strategies, do a lot of work. In order to do that, they will need to coordinate well with the humans and also potentially with each other. And the way I think about that, which is somewhat biased but also guiding the way I think about a lot of the world actually, is the best way to think about that is as relationships between roles, where roles are
You mean like hats?
Like hats, yes. Where roles are not just things that humans have. They're not just things that AI agents have. They are things that multiple humans and multiple AI agents can have, and they can also be revoked from those agents. We are starting to think about a lot of interesting ways where agents can do real work if they are trusted, if they are delegated authority and permissions and resources and responsibilities. But just like delegating to a human, you must be able to revoke that capability from an agent. Can I say one more thing?
Yeah, you have 10 more seconds.
Okay. I also think it's very interesting to give agents the ability to iterate quickly on what those roles look like and how we can construct zones of trust as roles that agents can then actually use to do work.
Okay, thank you. So it was a nice segue because, like I said, like we want to also talk about like how DAOs can kind of coordinate the agents, and it's like you already started on that topic because now we have the heads or we have other means how we can like enable those agents, but also control them so they don't abuse the power how people would do. So I will start with you, Denison. How we are thinking about like actually AI agents being like coordinated like through like DAO means, like what that actually means. Like you now work like Tally on like human coordination DAO. Like how are you thinking about like the agent coordination DAO?
Yeah, I think agent coordination is kind of an interesting idea. I don't know if it's going to fully work. And the reason why is I'll give an example that I've shared before on Twitter around Cursor. Cursor is a very popular AI tool. And one of the things you don't want the AI to do is to see your secret file, your end file. And you can manually tell the software, hey, don't read my end file, which I've done before. And the funny thing is that when you're running the AI goes, oh, let me read your end file. And so it's like, oh, that's weird. I can't read your end file. No worries. I'll just go write some software to go around whatever thing's blocking me to go read it anyway. Got it. Thank you very much. So I think the problem is actually going to be, and this is actually a really important thing, right? Like we specifically built limits into the software, but the AI can simply just go write new software and get around it. And it's not even really aware that you're purposely limiting to it. The problem is that you're kind of giving it conflicting goals. One is this like, don't touch this private information, but do this thing that you could do better if you had this private information, right? And I think with AIs and being coordinating in DAOs, I think we should be concerned about that kind of situation where, oh, this DAO is really difficult, let's coordinate it. Well, actually, let me just lie to all these motherfuckers and like, we'll just get it all together anyway, right? And that would be like a legitimate way of doing it. And if we have like a big room full of like people and a big room full of AI agents, they may pretty quickly conclude like, oh, to get the thing done they want us to do, we just need to lie to all of them, right? And get it done really fast. And we could end up in that situation probably instantaneously because most likely whatever we're asking them to do will be inherently in conflict with something, right? And we won't realize that until we figure out that like, oh, we all got lied to because we wanted there to be like a more harmonious DAO. And so they're like, yeah, that'd be great. Let's just get rid of you people, right? and then mission accomplished, right?
I get it. Like we saw Matrix, like the solution was just like get rid of people and like, we will run the world. And it might happen. I'm not saying it won't. But like the point I wanted to ask, it's like, okay, so the people have like this concept of like something it's illegal or like, if you lie to people, you won't be trusted and it will actually makes you worse off in the long run. JB, do you think there is like some concepts like this we can implement into AI? So basically it won't lie because it will feel like that's wrong and it will be like, oh, I harm my reputation and like in the long term that's not good thing. Or do we need to figure out totally different concepts to avoid what Denison was saying?
Oh no, you're asking me to solve alignment. I think so far, I think there's even a paper yesterday released where someone was like trying to prompt an AI to code bad and the AI ended up being a Nazi. Like, I think alignment is an unsolved problem. And so I do agree with Denison where it's like you can't just leave the AI unsupervised. And so like a lot of what I've seen work is like I'm a member of Nouns DAO and we have a program called Flows where it enables us to give microgrants. Like traditionally we would have to do these big proposals and there are these big political things and we have these bots that kind of check in on people who are doing the microgrants to make sure they're like doing stuff and it'll flag it to the actual members if it looks off. Similarly, Willy Wonka's here from Noun Space who has a bot who kind of proliferates their project. And so I'm kind of agreeing with Denison where it's like, I think there are people working on perfect alignment and maybe we'll get that, but I'm still like, we should be having these bots do tasks like we don't want to do so we can focus on the stuff we're really good at.
Makes sense. So basically limiting kind of the capability or what they should be doing. I know like on a project called Mother AI, we are like giving the like agent like a rating. So like, maybe there is like the optimistic way, like, you rate them for what they are doing, like, and you hope for the best, or like you gate them or like limit them because you fear the worst. So that's kind of like maybe leading question to you, like how technically we can execute this like limitations for the agents, because Denison is saying like I give them the limitations and they just basically go around it all the time. So is Heads like working on something like that?
At a high level, yes. The way I think about that sort of thing is that there are like three categories of ways to limit or influence an agent, and in this case, an agent means any being, and those are physics, like actual code or rules that cannot be broken, limits or constraints, DNA, or like the actual nature of the thing, and incentives. So reasons why a self-interested actor would want to follow a certain approach or not break a certain rule that is not physics-based. I think it's going to be really important to be very explicit about those things, because what we are not going to have with AI agents is what we have as humans, which is shared DNA, shared existence in society. So we're going to have to be very explicit about the physics constraints that we create for agents in a given context, and about the incentive gradients that we create for agents in a given context. And that includes things like reputation, but it also might include things like financial incentives or ownership or things like that.
Sounds good. We have last 10 seconds. You can say one project you want people to follow because you are super excited about it. Daniel, you can start.
Yeah, Harmonica, because it's an approach to really start
Okay, perfect. JB.
Hats.
Okay, cool. Denison.
AI.
AI, cool. Spencer.
Oh man, hats.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. I think we are on time. So can we give applause to our panelists?